Have you ever looked in the mirror and seen more than just your reflection? Have you seen potential waiting to be unlocked, power waiting to be claimed, because deep within you there is an unstoppable force, a greatness that's been whispering your name all along? But the world has tried to drown that voice, fear, doubt, failure. They've all told you who you're not, but today, we change the story. Today, we remind you who you truly are. The number one ingredient is hunger. If somebody's got a hunger that doesn't go away, not a hunger to lose some weight for the summer, I'm talking about hunger to be more, to do more, to create more, to become something, to give something that matters. That kind of hunger that doesn't go away, that's what you see in people like Richard Branson. He's a good friend. You know, Richard is 74 years old. He has the same hunger as he did when he was 16 starting virgin in a crypt. That's there. Anybody who has that component alive in them is going to succeed. Hunger usually comes from not having things so well. I come from an environment where I had 4 different fathers. The common denominator, I thought at that stage, was lack of money, because we had no money for food. Someone was interviewing me the other day. I just announced, I started out early on when I was 11 years old. I had people come to my house on Thanksgiving. We had no money and no food. We had crackers and peanut butter. That's what we would have had. But Thanksgiving was supposed to be a big feast, so it makes it pretty daunting. My parents were saying things to each other that you can never take back. I had a younger brother 5 years younger sister 7 years younger, and I'm trying to make sure they don't hear this. And this knock comes at the door. I open the door, and there's this tall guy holding 2 giant bags of groceries. And on the ground, he had this uncooked frozen turkey in a pan that he obviously carried up there first. He said, "Is your father home?" And I'm like, "Just one moment, right?" So I run to get my dad. They're screaming at each other, and I say, "The door's for you." He goes, "You answered it." I said, "Yes, speak to who is it?" "I don't know." I'm just a little boy, 11 years old, just waiting to see his face, thinking it's going to be the happiest moment in our lives. My dad opened the door, and he was not a happy man. He said, "We don't take charity," and he just went to slam the door in the guy's face. The guy had leaned in slightly, so it hit his shoulder and bounced off, and that made my dad even more frustrated. He said, sir," and added, "I'm just the delivery guy. Everybody has tough times, and somebody knows you're having tough times, and they want you to have a great Thanksgiving with your family." My father said again, "We don't take charity," and went to slam the door. But this time the guy leaned in, and his foot got there. His foot hit the door, and it pushed open. My dad's getting madder. Then the guy saw my father and saw me, and he said something I thought my father was going to punch him in the face for. He said, "Sir, don't make your family suffer because of your ego." I can still see the veins on the side of my father's neck. I thought for sure he was going to punch him. He took the food, didn't say anything, threw it on the table and slammed the door. Never said thank you. I tell you that story because it changed my life. I didn't know it then, but I figured it out later. My father left our family about 2 weeks after that. He was the one who adopted me, the one whose name I carry, the one I loved the most, quite frankly. He left. Why? Because there are 3 decisions we make every moment of our lives. The first decision is, what are we going to focus on? Right now, there are millions of things we could focus on, but we only focus on a small band of things. And whatever we focus on, we experience in life. So the first decision is what to focus on. I know what he focused on. He focused on that he had not fed his family. That was his focus. But then the second decision is, what meaning do you give it? Is this the end or the beginning? If you think it's the end of a relationship, you'll behave very differently than if you think it's the beginning. Is this person dissing me, challenging me, coaching me, or are they loving me? Whatever meaning you create produces emotion, and those emotions control your third decision, which is, what are you going to do? My father focused on the fact that he didn't feed his family. The worst part was the meaning. He decided he was worthless. And he decided to leave our family. That day, I had a very different experience. I focused on the fact that there was food, the meaning that changed my life, and it's why I'm sitting here right now, was that strangers care. My father always said no one cares, but I had evidence that someone cared so much they didn't even want credit. They fed my family, so I thought, if strangers care about me and my family, I'm going to care about strangers. I made a decision right then, at 11 years old, that I'm going to feed people when I get older. When I was 17, I fed 2 families. It was so emotionally rewarding. Then I fed 4, then 8, then I got to 1 million. Then 4 million, 2 million from my foundation, 2 million from me. And then about 10 years ago, I decided, I'm going to provide 1 billion meals here in the United States. We did that in 8 years. I'm proud to provide 100 million meals a year through Feeding America as my partner. Then I met with the head of the UN Food Program. He and I joined together to create a 100 billion meals initiative. I said, how many do we need to bridge the gap? He said, about 70 billion. I said, let's do 100 billion in 10 years. I did a billion and I wasn't a billionaire when I started. Obviously, I've grown to make that happen, but we just need 99 more people like me. We've already hit 30 billion meals in the first 2 years. Most people thought it would be impossible, but we're going to make it happen. If I was a well-fed child, do you think I'd be working this hard? I'm proud to be a good human being, but I don't think I'd have the same drive. I think hunger often comes from having gone through enough pain. I've suffered enough. I don't want anyone else to suffer. What do you say to the kid right now who's watching this on YouTube and going through it? For us, we've done our part. We're now out of it. When you were in it, how were you coping with that pain? For me, it was sports and bodybuilding. For you, sports was a big piece, but for me, it was books. I took a speed reading course when I was 15 and decided I was going to read a book a day. I didn't actually do that, but I read 700 books in 7 years, all in the areas of human development, psychology, physiology. I got obsessed with wanting to know answers. I was really small in high school. In junior high, I was 5'1", in my sophomore year. I'm 6'7" now. People joke that it was personal growth. I had a pituitary tumor. I didn't know. It made me grow fast. Growth pains are brutal, your muscles stretch, but books were my escape. I could go to another world. I could read Emerson's essays and feel a sense of autonomy and freedom. I could read Man's Search for Meaning and think, this guy went through Auschwitz and survived. How can I make my life work? Especially biographies, real biographies, not autobiographies, because when you read a biography written by someone else, you think their thoughts. And whatever thoughts you think over and over again develop your habits, emotions, and meaning in life. So that became my way. Books and sports were how I managed it. And then at 17, I heard this man named Jim Rohn, a personal development speaker. He did this 3.5-hour seminar on how to turn your life around. He became successful in various ways. I was working for a man in high school who flipped houses. My family said he used to be a loser, but now he's so successful. One day he called and said, "Is your son looking to make some extra money? So don't ask the world for permission to shine. Take the stage, take the shot, take the leap, because you are not just here to make a living. You are here to make a legacy. Let the world feel your presence. Let your actions echo in places your feet have yet to touch. Let your life be the proof that greatness is not a gift, it's a decision. Now go claim yours."